Well, today is the 18th of June, and I just got a letter in the mail from the VA telling me that um, my request for uh, a rating for my legs that were injured in the military was denied again. Um, I was in the National Guard for 8 years. I served in February of '96, and then I believe it was July of 2004. But I was stateside and didn't go overseas or anything like that. But I was injured in the line of duty. Um, when I went through basic training in South Carolina at Fort Jackson, um, I had a lot of problems with the running and started falling out of the runs, and I was hobbling in pain. Um, they diagnosed me as having shin splints in both legs, and I would get these short little periods of time where they would say, "Well, you've got a profile, and you can rest for 3 days or whatever, and then resume running again." And that happened all throughout the 8 weeks that I was in training. Um, I wasn't able to pass or run because I was injured and had trouble marching because of the pain. And so in the 8th week, um, my drill sergeant got really um, annoyed with the process, or that, he had done everything he could to help me, but nothing was getting any better with my legs. And I had to pass a run before the 8 weeks training was over, or else I could not graduate. So that 8th week, when I went to the sick call, he said, "This time, tell them that your drill sergeant said you need x-rays." And when we did that, we found out that I had stress fractures, two stress fractures in each tibia of both legs. And that's why I was in so much pain. That's why I was having trouble walking. That's why I kept falling out of the runs, because I was in tremendous pain. Um, so they sent me to rehab, and that was back at the reception station. I spent 3 months in rehab trying to recover, with the problems with my legs. I was supposed to go through, straight through, do my basic training, and go directly to my AIT. Um, but because, this happened, it set everything back 3 months. And in December, when it was Christmas time, the doctors looked at my legs. They said they're healing, but you're not quite ready to go back yet. I started forming calluses on the stress fractures. So it was decided that I would split train. Um, I would go back home and uh, try to give it time for my legs to heal. And then they sent me back the following summer in '97 for my AIT. And same thing, almost immediately began to happen, just as it had in basic. About 2 weeks into our training, I started falling out of runs. I started having pain, trouble walking. Uh, I was going to school and I was doing well, with everything else except the runs. And of course, they diagnosed me again with x-rays and said that I had two additional stress fractures on top of the two that I had the previous summer. So now I have four stress fractures in each one of my legs. And because I was injured in the line of duty, um, they had me sign paperwork. And they said, on down the line, years from now, if your legs start giving you problems, then you're covered. Um, you know, you're going to be taken care of and all that. Um, I think maybe in the early 2000s, I started having pain a lot more than usual, arthritis, and trouble being on my feet for long periods of time. I would start to hurt. And so I filed for the VA disability. They rated me as 0. They said that I did not have enough evidence um, about my legs giving me problems. And when I would talk to my doctors about it, they would just say, well, take some Tylenol. Um, they really didn't do anything to try to treat my pain or any of that. So I went through the appeals 3 times, was denied. Um, and then in 2008, I was diagnosed with scleroderma. And this is 2019. So I tried for the VA disability again because I've had tremendous problems. Um, I can't be on my feet for probably more than 5 minutes without starting to have lower back pain, foot pain, um, from my knees down. Everything hurts. If I try to walk long distances, I'm in pain. If, well, I would say if a bear was after me, I couldn't run. Um, there's no way I could run. And so, um, I just got this second denial, and they told me the reason was because I had a preexisting condition, and they're talking about the scleroderma. When I went into the Army in 1996, I was seemingly healthy. Um, I'd never had any health problems. So it was really shocking whenever I ended up getting these stress fractures in my legs. And I guess I would not have gone into the military had I known that I was sick. Um, if I hadn't served, if I hadn't gone through all that training, I don't think that I would have had those stress fractures. Um, it's hard for me to understand why they're denying me any help because I was a good soldier. Um, and I saved 8 years of my life trying to run and doing the PT and staying fit and doing my job. And now that I'm hurt, um, they refuse to help me. And so I'm very disappointed because it was such an honor for me to serve my country, um, serve my state, um, wear that 45th Infantry Thunderbird patch on my shoulder because my uncles were in the National Guard. I grew up seeing that Thunderbird, and as a little girl, I kept thinking, someday I want to join and get to do the same kinds of things that they did. My uncles were twins and always working on guns and going to summer camp, and they just seemed to have such a good time with it. And I thought, wow, what a great way to um, carry on that family tradition. I wanted to be a medic like my uncles, but because I was drilling with an infantry unit and I was a female, they told me that the only job that I could do was admin, personnel, being like a secretary, basically, which I found very boring. But um, I was willing to do it just so I could serve, you know. And I don't regret my time in the military. I learned a lot, made some really great friends, had good adventures. Not all of it was pleasant, but for the most part, I really am proud of my time that I served. But I find it so disappointing that they're denying any responsibility for what happened to me. And now that I'm injured, as a result of serving for 8 years, they refuse to help me. And if I had to do it again, I don't know if I would have made the same choice, knowing that I was going to have all this pain and that, the military would refuse to help me with it. Because when I filled out that line of duty, that's what they were promising me, was that we're going to take care of you. If something happens years from now and your legs get worse, you're covered. And of course, now that I've asked for the help, they've refused to help, denied me again. And my attorney said that since they said it was a pre-existing condition, the scleroderma, um, it would be pointless to keep fighting, to keep healing, and just to let it go. So, as a Choctaw with scleroderma, I feel screwed over um, from the Army. And it's very hard for me to accept that. It's making me very upset, very sad. I wish things were different. Scleroderma sucks.